Academy. In our class 12 chemistry class, we have been discussing about unit number 2, that is electrochemistry. Classes So, in the previous class, we have left till the topic of battery. Battery have a topic So, we are going to discuss today more details about battery. So, battery have it is a source of the energy source that are going to supply the voltage. Electrochemistry have electrochemical reactions battery that means there are various types of reactions, that is oxidation as well as reduction. Cell like we take an example for the electrochemical cell electrolyte cell electrolytic cell half cell any oxidation side reduction side when we take the battery radio the battery radio the phone battery Nokia battery radio normal battery dry cell test dry cell battery, chargeable battery, we are going to study today now. Okay, so let's go to the slide. So battery have here. Combination of two or more cells. Combination of two or more cells. Cell C dagi henba. That means two natragana more cells connected in karihaba. Connected series. We have studied in physics that there may be two types of combination. One may be the series combination, another may be the parallel combination. Aduja series and parallel combination consider battery series combination. So this battery is the combination of two or more cells that are going to combine in what? Series connection. So let's see here. If we say resistance connected in series, so minus R1, R2. But if I say the resistance are connecting in parallelly, do it, let's say. Let's say this one. So my connector we have a other this one is R1, R2, R3. So in this type of two connection, we are watching here. We see R1 and R2 in the above figure are connecting in a series combination. Then for this below, R1, R2, R3, they are connecting in the parallel combination. So in case of the battery it is the combination of two or more cells connecting in series. Battery battery primary cell secondary cell last full cell what do we mean by primary cell? Primary secondary full cell so next primary cell primary cell types of cell. Example dry cell latent cell sumaina haibuko dry cell hai taragadi koina radio da sizinaba battery haise yareko chumnagi torchlight kumulaga hapa battery khangiko sigum singse kai odeba they are all dry cell makada sigi slide sigi heg matung tarapeda koina mark figure yauragani ko diagram we are going to look at that diagram then you will know which type of dry cell the karambano or battery makhan se karambano khangani ko. So here primary cell have a madam sida kai odeba in primary cell or batteries primary cell natragana battery have a madam sida kai lakani ba the reaction occurs only once nasagi battery amase yadre hairagadi adu sizinadeba lotho thamdra thamiko adugi battery tin he yarigadi sizinarani adubo masu loigre magi charge yaudre hai targadi we do not use it we discard it ko sizinadeba. So here in primary cell or batteries the reaction occurs only once reaction amura khata thokaniba and after use over a period of time matam khara sizinaraba matungda battery se dead chakini sizinaba yararoi haba ko then and cannot be reused again madi amuk hanna charge tawraga sizinaba yagadra yadre habadi hana mamangaida natrakan housing power yuna battery happaga sizinaraba radio gumba leiragadi hana radio da hapamba battery se sire haraba doiragadi kai tawe madu sizinade anova ma leiraga anova new battery do hapeba and simply like gari wall clock ki battery macha thoiko adugumba battery du su kai tawe they are also the dry cell ne bako moi se battery se sire hai taragadi kai tawe muka lothoga anova battery ma hapeba yai ko. That means we buy new battery ano wamalodra kaigino du lorida sida halere that chakagadi it cannot be reused hydra cannot haiba that means when this primary cell battery singse sina karigumba amuku sizinagraba matam khara sizinaraga magi reaction du da laidiba charge se heg laidiba makhaidi battery se sidi hagani ba ko kaigumba magi charge se loithokre ko habedi charge sizinaraga transfer tawraga sizinagre electricity or magi energy se puthokpa loigre haragadi kadawkadeba the battery becomes dead battery do sirini ha mathau tawba matamda su torch light daga happa kana ngalaktre hena tawise kaigi oiduba battery do dead chakre battery sigre haine ba yare ko battery sire haba term se to yam toina taramani yumda if you use this type of battery siguma battery se sizinnaramagadi no battery sire haba wasa taramani ba gari ga su battery sire haba wa hai taramani ko battery sire haiba boche karino haba june hoji yegi yare ko. So in the case of the primary cells the battery sire haba wa hai se heg yaraba adu taragadi adu battery do amugana sizinaba yararoiba ko adu sizinadramni ke dorani we are going to discard it and we are going to buy a new battery no only deliver example that they have a dry cell or lac-length cell or lac-length key na aina bu siyabuni ko lac-length cell se kai decision eba while clock see the high clock say it is not the wristwatch to not ko it is the while clock ko then transistor gumbada ko adigi mercury cell high ko say sna ghari decision is dari ko wristwatch decision ariba cell machasina it is the mercury cell ko adigi nase. So first let's look into dry cell have a potela hanamuni ingisi ko kaino dry cell haise it is zinc have a potsiga kanamaga atopa graphite have a potsiga yawa kaigumba matamda noina hojiki radio gumba natraga ghari gi battery do pugaraga yengu matamda phakaraga abubu tholakpa thainaba yawmani ko kanagumba nogi maraktagi khara ngausanaba yawam taragadi I think you might have experienced this like batteries lawraba ko battery se season nadrabani battery se shirabani haga thabu battery se lawsanaba na phakaraga yengu matamda kai yawame ba nasagi amuba makuk oiba powder khari yawameba adugi powder do kana oiba they are zinc graphite sigumba electrodes sinaba yare ko. So here this dry cell battery consists of what two components mainly two component yawe kana zinc haiba ama question lido kayo do no, it is zinc. Yari ko. So si question is battery angang ba battery blue color gi thoktra battery everyday thabdo red color gi achoba ko thoidana adugi battery ne wasi se yari ko dry cell hai se so sida question li busuruk to angauba malaga blue color malaga red color malaga question li ko to that is zinc yari ko aduga manung na yawba makup yawi hena khaliba ko to aduna kai oduba that is carbon black hai se yare ko carbon black mainly carbon black oil plus kana yawe ba manganese oxide ko manganese oxide MnO2 and NH4Cl2 kanano ammonium chloride mogi base yawgani yare ko then look here and also we have known that battery yung haba madam so kay yawn haba po ani yawni kana cathode haba ma anode haba ma cathode and anode will be present here yare ko cathode hagira anode cathode anode yare ko so sumaina electrode ani di compulsory yawni haba because we are considering what electrochemistry ne no matam there are two types of electrodes all this time one will be oxidation thoknaba another will be reduction thoknaba ko aduna sida kay haba anode signano zinc and cathode na kana yawgani ba graphite is what graphite is one of the electrode of carbon di electrode makalaman na siya aduna sida koina carbon rod amalawre han hai se adu kay ha cathode hai kay haba cathode zinc sina kay haba it is anode yare ko now here cathode si graphite graphite electrode surrounded by kanana surrounded we have manganese oxide carbon black and ammonium chloride ki base na sida inisi duni ko surrounded by manganese oxide and carbon yare ko mainly carbon yawbani na kay dawragan hai maku powder na tholakan in habne amuba powder yare ko kutta kasi chuba kahani may tan man ba ko marina ba something like a gray color man ba black color man ba mukungra tholakan ni ba ko tugay ba matanda so here manganese oxide and carbon yarani and then the space is filled with space e karina filled with na paste of ammonium chloride and atopa makana haiman addition da zinc chloride haiba zinc chloride sa kada yawdoina sida zinc cup anode hana hai cha hai ko sida kay hai ammonium chloride yawi hai ko hai chumi adoi ka hai du ba sida yawri ba cover tawgadori ba question gadori ba zinc ki plate or zinc ki cup hai ba bon sa sida masai gi ammonium chloride si yawsallaga mabani ge mar reaction ko omba yai aduni maram oiraga kai form thale ba sida yawba zinc chloride se form ta pa yai ha yani ko adu rega di haujo ko dry cell yawba elements kya sure mainly zinc carbon manganese oxide carbon black carbon mamang na paliduna graphite carbon ko sida yarsina carbon black and last one ammonium chloride sida addition oina kana happy haiba 1 is zinc chloride yari ko adu regadi we have to know that there may be 6 components in the dry cell amasya ko matamda it may consist of 6 components kana ba zinc anode carbon graphite cathode ko dagi mawon yawgada paste duna kana simba ba manganese oxide then ammonium chloride and carbon black along with ba zinc chloride yaradra now let's see the reaction akoina hoje kay hai gra anode haba maga cathode haba maga leni hai ko let's see here kay haba anode ta zinc oigani cathode na graphite electrode oini high greba ko high grebani na logic anode to na kay thokani ba oxidation cathode to na kay thokani ba reduction kamay thokani kana da kari reaction thoke ye ngasi ko anode to kay haba reaction ama thokani high anode ta Dudi, energy kanano? Here we know it is zinc. Zinc ring kangrabani. The zinc ta oxidation thopai se kaino, it will lose electron. Ka electron loss to gani. Adudi kamay loss to remana. Zinc will form zinc 2 plus ion and will release 2 electron. Mana ion form to isi kaino 2 plus ion. 2 plus hadi kaino 2 electron loss to we. Ka do rabani na. Mass ionic form da 2 plus form to bagi it loses 2 electrons and undergoes what? Oxidation. Correct? So here we know oxidation takes place in the side of anode. Then what about the cathode? Cathode kidi kai oire ba? Here at cathode manganese oxide have a malay sige manganese oxide have a siga ammonium ion have a siga kanada tholai no ammonium ion se sida yaw se ammonium chloride have a pot sida ammonium ion have a pot sida gi kai laktoi ba ammonia la ni ammonia la amatung da sida kai form tawi base sama form tawi MnOOH yare ko manganese hydrate ko or manganese hydroxide makalda per hydroxide form to ba yare ko. Now manganese is reduced at cathode. Manganese kadai reduced ba cathode reduced to we have ko aduga mali oxidation state na plus 4 oxidation state later badagi it will be reduced into plus 3 oxidation state plus 4 later plus 3 da handagini haba. So here we came to know that manganese have a port say reduction chathagrani mana reduction chathaba hadi kaino mangonda hana kayam de hydrogen yarmde but here in the product side you see hydrogen yariko aduna mase kai haba mangonda reduction to e hana lawani ha kanade yak hydrogen na from this ammonium ion one hydrogen is being taken by the manganese oxide and forms MnOOH yariko doidi sida yaram ni ba manganese ta reduced away harabanina ngasagi magi masagi oina laseramba plus 4 oxidation states kaida reduced away ba it has been reduced into plus 3 oxidation state reduced away ba ko then ammonia have said kada da tholai reduction to matam da tholai ko masas de kai doina removal of hydrogen natra removal of hydrogen it is oxidation. Duna ammonium ion hariba positive ammonia olakpadina mangonda kai form ba it is undergoing oxidation. But here ammonia produced in the reaction forms kai form the haina complex ama form the way kanaga with zinc 2 plus iron have a siga zinc 2 plus iron have a pot siga nasaigi ammonia siga punjalaga kai form to ba complex ama form to we have. What is the type of the complex here? Pire ko sila complex ama kai haina tetra amino zinket ko tetra amino zinc complex or zinket complex na form to we have. Tetra has it because there are 4 ammonia compound or 4 ammonia gi ligands present oi haba ligands 4 amina tetra amine zinket tetra amine zinc 2 smile kani ba now here sige oi ba cell se have this is the short or ba dry cell se sige su electric potential is gani natra aduna magi cell potential or electric potential singuge potential difference se kya tarani ba it is 1.5 volt ni have 1.5 volt yare ko sige ko na kai khangwa me do dia nasagi whole dry cell sida udhorakadariba magi electric potential or the cell potential have a pole set kya warni it is only 1.5 volt yare ko diri hoje ko na khangi se kai no dry cell amasle kai kai yawani haba it will be all together kari no zinc have a mayawani, graphite electrode have a mayawani, manganese oxide, ammonium chloride, zinc chloride, and carbon black mayamdugi paste have a mayawani have. Okay. Now let's go through another type of primary cell or battery. Primary battery or primary cell atobu makhandana kay haba mercury cell. Mercury cells kay no today. Ain high grade wristwatch ta koi gari macha ko kudang na siriba gari sida yawa battery macha mayaw ko kudaman bado. Adugi kudaman ba battery cell. It is known as mercury cell. Mercury cell high about to do. Now here, mercury have a both say yaw taragadi. You might have heard about amalgam. Amalgam taram bani ko. Amalgam hadi kay niya ba sida sida siyar. Amalgam kay tari kay niya ba. Amalgam means whenever there is the formation of the paste. Paste ma form taraba. Kana yauraga mercury yauraga. It will be known as amalgam. Battery or mercury cells the amalgam types it will be zinc mercury amalgam. Zinc and mercury amalgam. Zinc mercury. So here let's see mercury cells it consists of zinc mercury amalgam as and a paste of HgO mercuric oxide plus carbon compulsory it will be as cathode. C4 said it is a typing mistake, please bear with me. So here there will be two types of electrodes. One will be the zinc mercury amalgam acting as anode and paste of mercury oxide plus carbons the electrolyte dry cell paste paste it was like the electrolyte again Sige potse ubu matam sida na kay khange khoina sige sina vessel ni hanalo yaiba ko beaker do aduga beaker sida akoina electrode ama hapchalaga sige manung sida na kay hapa electrolyte hapcha adugi electrolyte ni hanalo yaiba sida manganese oxide, ammonium chloride, carbon black sige mayang paste hapise sina electrolyte ni hanalo yaiba jamana mercury ki concept to hojiki makada sida piriba mercury cell sigi concept se sida so cell malaire sida anode ne cathode ne letaragadi mokhoy marakta da legada ba electrolyte amasu leidina cha adugi electrolyte se kanana oini haba here it will be potassium hydroxide and zinc oxide yareko kana haba potassium hydroxide and zinc oxide Yaradiko, I do it agadi, Hojimag electrode reaction, singing among the cell structures, honey, Horisico. Garigi, battery macha, I will kudang the city, but Garisigi, battery macha kudam manado. Aduka mine laba, sigi structures in the lady. Manum sida, Sumalegani, Quadigi, Mapan Tangasarukse, gasket or cell can. Sida Marakta. Marakas minor lady it is the gasket and then atopa mana cell can matak the silver manda steel manda silver and steel manda pot yar later aduna cell can so mataki is the red lady potna and that high what is meant by the anode kanano anode is zinc mercury amalgam and then makadale is na cathode kanano so the hydrogen test of mercuric oxide plus carbon and then marak sida is separated high koi na vessel vessel ani se samnana ba kai happy salt bridge happy adu sigi dadi kai happy ba ani maksa pulak ama khatang yaw so that anode have a cathode have separate separate ꯉꯥꯏꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯅꯤꯁꯦ ꯐꯥꯎꯗꯣꯛ ꯐꯥꯎꯖꯤꯟ ꯌꯥꯍꯟꯗꯅꯕ so separator ꯑꯃ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯦ ꯃꯊꯛꯁꯤꯗ ꯈꯨꯗꯥꯡꯗꯣ ꯀꯨꯞꯁꯟꯕꯒꯤ ꯁꯔꯨꯛ ꯑꯃ ꯌꯥꯎꯗ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯅ anode cap ꯀꯧꯔꯅꯤ ꯃꯈꯥꯗ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯄꯣꯠꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯅ ꯆꯞ ꯃꯥꯟꯅꯅ ꯃꯥꯒꯤꯁꯨ ꯀꯨꯞꯁꯟꯕ ꯄꯣꯠꯇꯨꯅ cathode cap ꯀꯧꯔꯅꯤ ꯌꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯃꯈꯥꯗ ꯍꯣꯗꯦꯕ ꯀꯩꯁꯨ ꯍꯣꯕ꯭ꯔꯥꯅꯦ ꯍꯣꯔꯝꯃꯣꯏ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯒꯥꯔꯤ ꯂꯩꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯑꯒ ꯍꯥꯏꯐꯦꯠꯇꯪ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣꯀꯣ ꯌꯥꯗꯕ ꯒꯥꯔꯤꯗ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯒꯥꯔꯤꯗꯗꯤ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣꯅꯣ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯌꯥꯈꯤꯗ꯭ꯔꯗꯤ ꯃꯤꯁꯅ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯑꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯈꯤꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯍꯥꯞꯆꯤꯟꯕ ꯍꯩꯇꯅ ꯌꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯛꯀꯅꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯔꯨꯔꯅꯨ ꯘꯔꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯧꯔꯣ ꯘꯔꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯕꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯕꯦꯇ꯭ꯔꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯕ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯐꯦꯠ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣ ꯌꯦꯡꯒꯅꯤ ꯑꯃꯨꯛꯀ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯊꯨꯒꯥꯏꯔ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯨꯅꯣ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ mercury is very dangerous ꯀꯣ mercury ꯌꯥꯎꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯨꯅꯣ but amalgamꯗꯤ safe ꯑꯣꯏꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯋꯥꯁꯨ ꯂꯩꯇꯦꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯗ so ꯘꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯘꯔꯤꯁꯤꯗ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯤ ꯘꯔꯤꯒꯤ ꯕꯦꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯁꯤꯗ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯤꯁꯤ ꯀꯅꯥ ꯀꯅꯥꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ anode ꯁꯥꯏꯗꯁꯤꯅ zinc mercury amalgam ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯁꯤꯗ cathode ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯅꯥ ꯀꯅꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯗꯣꯏꯕ it will be the paste of mercury oxide and carbon ꯌꯥꯔꯗ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯂꯩꯔꯅꯤ ꯃꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯌꯥꯎꯒꯗꯧꯔꯤꯕ electrolyte ꯀꯅꯥ ꯀꯅꯥꯒꯤ paste ꯑꯣꯏꯗꯣꯏꯕ it will be potassium hydroxide and zinc oxide की ओइगनिबा now let's see how will these electrodes in reaction to my tokani electrolytic reaction and overall reaction here so here first is anode thopa anode kai thokani hagra we all know anode sida oxidation reaction thokani ko oxidation reaction thopa sida nasaigi masak si yengasi ko zinc amalgam haba pot si kanagano reaction thopa sa sida yauriba OH se kanada laktoba it will be from potassium hydroxide KOH haba terms de laktoni ko sida yauriba OH minus se KOH tagi lakani ba now here from this sida yauriba zinc amalgam siga OH haba siga reaction thokminare ba matungda kai ole here you see what zinc oxide form tore ko hana zinc amalgam lerubani kana hapchale sigi kano se mercury se lokthokraga hapchalakcha adudi kai oina it is oxidation chume ko and then sida kai release tore water and water katun release tore se there will be 2 electron amasu tholakcha tholai ko karigumba reaction amada electron thoglaba natragana oxygen hapchalamaba adu already kain heba that is oxidation no oxidation thokreista now cathode kari thokyum yengasi ko cathode sida yawrisi kanani haba mainly HGO mercuric oxide duidi sida yawriba pot ani se man loksale ko loksala matungna kai form to hale mercury si kitang lehaure hydroxide ion tholi hai ko adudi kai oine mangondagi oxygen je lauthokri natra hana kai yaurami mercuric oxide yaurambane ba adubo kai dogre oxide je lauthokre oxygen do lauthokre kai form taraba duga metal masado magi liquid form da koina kai ha sida liquid idisigi maram nu khangu ko kai haba mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature to no ma say liquid wori ne basida ko then here kana tholeba oxygen mongonda yarbo oxygen ni ko sida tholai sha jina kai haba sida reduction je thai haba yaradra now overall reactions ta puna yengasi kai hara zinc amalgam haibasiga HGO ga ani se reaction tawnaba matam sida nasagi zinc oxide haba pot simaga nasagi mercury habasiga thola kani haba nare ko marakta yawgriba electrolytes single reaction ubra ude but we know that there are electrolytes sidagi thola iba magi ions or charges myam dugo ponana reaction je mapum khaline bu but when you see the overall reaction, you see only this part and this part. Si part ani ji katane budu ji. Tare ko. So here we can know that mercury cell habis de yaw se kai ne ba zinc mercury amalgam. Ko zinc mercury amalgam hairani amana aduga topumna kari ba. Cathode odori sina mercuric oxide plus kana yaw ba carbon. Yareko, adu regadi, Mabani Marat, Toko the river reaction say, redox reaction Makalamani, take a phone Tony Haba, zinc oxide, mercury. Yareko, Chigisina, Oji, primary cell lore. Primary cell, the Oji Makakan in a gra, Makal Ani. Amana dry cell, Amana mercury cell. Dry cell Harisina, while clock kumada, Yauba, Chizinaba, battery Makando. Aduga Hojiki. Mercury cell haisina karamba wristwatch machalda sizinaba karamba battery ka aduga sometimes you might have seen like weight on the battery ka weight on the machine do ada hapa battery amali bani ka even kari thermometer ka digital thermometer do aduda su hapa battery makhale ka. There is also this type of battery. So battery makhalne mercury battery apakpa circle or mercury battery ka. So adu mercury cell adu haiba. Kentane ka. Okay, next week go through this secondary cell la see the ka. Ingasi, what do you mean by secondary cell then? Primary cell hai tarega de ko na kaya ga differentiation habatan ta horaji da. Primary cell hai tarega de that type of the battery or the cell which cannot be reused after death. Data kagadi reused the way at the hiba. But let's take an example of a phone, cell phone, smartphone, Android phone, Pyri, tablet Pyri, and what about this laptop, nacha system gumba, laptop gumba madam sida kayo ay. They are chargeable, and even this electric lamp like nan inverter gumba like nacha. Inverters and battery charge you are still going to use it by charging again, right? So inverters have a port say battery do not charge or season eva. Natural amuhan refill to gas is going to happen as I battery say mono season eva. Adumbudo, take away. They are all secondary battery and never. That means that chalagasu charge to raga, not charge to hapamatunda. Adum season up we have a continue to and as I phone you battery in a phone battery say only 1% katangay has 1% katangay or 20% yoga that's a torhana. When you charge your phone or your cell phone, my battery it will be not that again. Function doesn't aware any notes in the harasu or video like video making so or now PDF go download to so you can now still use it, right? I do it again the hunting used the way by charging it. I do it again that type of cell will be known as what? Secondary cell or a caniba. So secondary cell have a that have a port say sometimes that have a port that but we can use it again and again. Like you reuse the body I have a primary once that is in a bayade. But no phone a handle layering a sequel. Phone a handle layering, phone charger, phone's battery, a bunny out the hasiva. No phone the charge from book of the tongue target. No Makatang, I see the layer a battery out there, the charge and the way I do the season of Yada. But Masagi batteries a top of primary batteries, I see the layer batteries here a man. This is an charge the but for the secondary battery or secondary cell charge the rega matam kharadi thama musi phone the yarame kambra that means phone to the battery to the and you might have seen battery secondary battery say phone get the thing you can still change the battery. Change the so let's come to our slide again. Secondary battery have a secondary battery secondary cell a secondary battery after use can be recharged. Secondary battery have a after use to matunda batteries lamp Mamtarakado because she had a wise at Dio Tapakan and have the Taraba. Made the Dio Tabado and Lady of a say, lamb to give. I do it again. What you are going to do? You have to recharge it. Recharge the wedding. Electricity is supplied in a charge. Nabirani, Mamma Alani, charge and Yanni, Lorena Tabata. Chundra, the mind already. So, can be recharged by passing. Pass the current through it in the opposite directions. Aduri ngasai khoina battery cell amal lore ko phone ki battery ni hai si natraga ngasai gi lamp to gi ni hai si aduri di ma se kaidana charge stories hai electricity supply taraga na charge thazil lagani ba supply to se ko supply to huma damsida it is not supplying directly magi AC DC chali ba jaga duna te ba AC ni thazil je ai ko so the tari kain haba passing through its opposite direction. For example, let's say nasagi phone gi current se phone gi charge se so mine chalam mini high se kaida left to right chalam mani high se ba ko phone gi charge se left to right chali haba adubu charge to matam recharge se kadum da hazen do ba right gi left to hazen do haba. That means hana season na bolo agree hanle bising go amula ni ko shen go mane ba ya ne ko ni sing je thabolo ri ha sakiba bising go amula thabolo ri ha kushin ba yan da bra adu mine to we haba ya ne ko so secondary haba matan se de kai da we akhoina charge haba po se la ani haba charging rechargeable hydra like you can also take the examples of this phone gi sim da ko phone bisai out re haina me bu thaina adu kai da we recharge store kan phone la bisha ha pe aduna phone call to we are phone message ta we are or sms and video calling si are call and hydra jab mana if secondary cell or secondary battery have a port se da ma ye charge se low it can be recharge to we I have yare ko chargeable to we are ni aduna charge se kamai to haba it will be in the opposite direction na charge pass to sandoini that means current has sandoini yare ko thousand rabamatong da it can be used again haba it can be used again hanagi primary cell da kari hai it cannot be reused again like adubu secondary cell ngai se kaina Madi hanjan adum season away. There you go. Now example that I have a lead storage battery. Lead storage battery se kai reuse the way inverter da nahara manisida. High used in automobiles, inverters, etc. Gari ki battery ya adre battery si re hai tari battery do charge to drop asana. So we go and even you might have seen these electric car, electric vehicle, money electric vehicle is battery any type of automobiles, vehicles in the battery auto battery even car engine battery so every automobiles and vehicles have its own battery. Adugi battery do kaini haba they are all lead storage battery ni haba. There you go. Lead storage batteries you might have seen these in homes kai gumba acid meter hapa thengna ba. Thengnaramani khara thengnaram ya khara thengnaram to bi ai ko but let's see akoi shi the figure here ngathini ko adum kada amka hena gyan ta ni so here here ngasi ko lead storage battery haya atopa mana nickel cadmium cell battery makhal ani ni ko hoji khai se kai haba nickel cadmium cell yare ko jodi ko thari ge ngase si lead battery cell se ko lead storage cell so what do we mean by lead storage lead have a posi yauduni haba sididi lead is one of the element karam type of element it is a metal ne ba yare ko so here lead storage battery habisidi yagudu si kai ne ba it consists of a lead anode yagudu ba yare ko lead se kai ne denote tawe it will be pb na denote tawe pb se kai ne haba plumbium habado ko pb has a plumbium de lai ne ba now it consists of a lead anode and a grid of lead packed with kai haba lead oxide lead oxide की formula से ले रहे को PbO2 ऐसे कहते हैं कहीं हमा pure lead ना anode ओरनी को अदुग lead oxide है वो पोचे ना cathode ओरनी यार बा यार then 38% of solution of kana sulfuric acid ang sa hydra kay gumba inverter da may se pubungam dre o may se sidare e mahiyaw dre acid mixture lay ruge hana yung gi ahan sing na lay bajapa thainaramani if you might have known it or if you have inverter yung inverter lay raba na taka battery gumba gisem magi ahan sing lay tare ke diko hadpay hangomoda kaya ba acid mixture haji kay no na kamay to bubo no na hangoba aduda it consists of what dilute water ko dilute nataga masagi distill water ko dilute sulfuric acid siga distill water ka mixture taraga layram bubo se it is known as acid mixture ka weba adu kai this is ne ba lead storage batteries this is ne ba khona yai ko adu ga charge chilan ne ba habiti acid ama have matam se da whenever we say acid acids ne denote kar se H plus ne ba yai ko adu tar ga it carries a plus charge means ke taran ori ne adu re de man electron so the piram ne neutron piram ni proton piri ni na electron so composite piram gani ba adu na mo ko ne piri ba electrons ne maram oraga there is the flow of the electrons and because of that mai ngali ne Nariko, chat is in the Kabutori marriage, my whole in So here, Kaya percent neba, dilute sulfuric acid percentage it is 38% solution. Nariko, 38% solution of sulfuric acid is used as electrolyte. Kayo ang season neba, electrolyte o na. Kariko. Then, do target the cell reaction yung asa. Ojo ko na kay kanya. Lead storage battery have a section that season nagadori ba kaino se hey masagi changse kana ne haba another na lead plus cathode na kana lead oxide electrolyte na kana acid mixture se kana hoy to ba 38% of solution of sulfuric acid nariko then cell reaction yang ase du de cell reaction da we know another kai thokan hai gra hanjin hai sinichi na bani ko another oxidation katata reduction nariko adu de yengo another have a pot se thoka the river oxidation se type kana du no we are not here another se nasagi pb have pot se nariko pb have se thoka the river reaction se yengo kana no se ya sa sulfate ion kanada ilagto no sulfuric acid H2SO4 sige po sila ilakan dahil ko H2SO4 have sila lakado rin po siya kamala isi yung PBS that means it is in the form of a solid na rin po si acoustic na riba that means kay hai sulfuric acid ki solution hai ka aduna aqueous solution means it is found in the kanada water is in ba karon batabo water ni hai distilled water ni hai ko distilled water ni lore solution se me ion se karam no sulfate ion lore then siga ani se punja nagra matungda we found what PbSO4 kay haba lead sulfate phange ko kay release to or kan phangi se lead na 2 electrons pithokra kanda pithokre ko kaya mo re du de hoji as a compound form to re kay hana lead sulfate na yare ko now cathode kari orani cathode kari form to re ba lead oxide plus sulfate ion ko sulfate ion sida sulai confused kanuka sina seasonary electrolyte ama khatang oibani ani bukta jangani haba kai ko so cathode su sulfate ion se reaction tawnare kanaga lead oxide ka adugi matung ta kanala e acid ki H+ kare ko sila matung da electron duga sida su kai form tawi PbSO4 kare ko si form tare and water form tawi ha narba the overall reaction से ता कई form ताया बा water PbSO4 lead sulfate का water का form तो बनी है तारबा so here overall sida pulla yengu matam sida PbO2. That means anode, cathode, along with the electrolyte HuSO4, there will be the formation of PbSO4. That means lead sulfate form togani aduga water form togani ha. Taraba. Now, note sida hypothesis happen yengsikwa. Kay haino. On charging the battery, charge the moment kadum side it will be in the opposite direction. Charge is mindful or recharge the book and smile. On charging the battery, the reaction is reverse. So make opposite reverse and PbSO4 on anode and cathode is converted into Pb and PbO2 respectively. Asagi ani sisu ondok nagini ha. Dari ko cathode oramasana anode ongini anode oramasana cathode ongini ha. Dari ba? Reverse ng narakadi PbSO4 sina on anode and cathode is converted into PbO2. Sida anode sida sukay form tawa PbSO4. Cathode sida sukay form tawa PbSO4 hana cathode ka anode ka form tawa report singse. Anode kisina PbO gini ba? Cathode kisina PbO2 ola kaniha. Yare ko. Then let's come to this picture. Figure sida yang sekonta. Figure sida na sumana makuk pan bi ang gani ba? Yare ko. Ama the negative thangani, ama the positive tharangani. Yare ko. So sida negative thaba yawuni ko. Sida negative thaja. Sige negative se anode ne ba? Yare ko. So sida positive thaja. Sina cathode ne ba? Taraba. Then sige marak se sida sumana tripita ta phara le bi yawi ko. Yawja. Yawi. Then sida negative plates lead grids filled with spongy lead hydra. Sponge ki type to ba jaga. Khare yawi ba. Sida blue or is sometimes it may be yellow or busiyawuni ko. Green or busiyawuni. And then to pamana sida yaw ba po sida chamber macha yawuni ba. Sida ubra sida mahi ni ko sida yaw sida yellow part jaga yaw si mahi ne ba. 38% sulfuric acid solution hai nasagi acid ni chardu ne ba. Kai tor ba sulfuric acid tuga distilled water ka punjal laga me bo percent si 38% solution mani si battery sida hapani yellow or the jaga si kayo ba they are all sulfuric acid. Ako hakchan lani half kraba matung sida mase charge bu bahor. Adugi matung na kaidorani it will flow as electrons. Say sida electron tholai se. Kanade male si electrons in jay. Chimam sulfuric acid sida gi ador yare ko. And even kanadagi laptuba cathode anode moina thoiba reaction nam sina maram oraga lead oxide lead sulfate on muka charge kanda muka reverse reaction muka admai toraga koina lead storage battery se use to gani ha yarani ko. Now let's go through this nickel cadmium cell se mu yengasi ko. Nickel cadmium cell se happy yengu matamda you might have come across the dry cell the lakibu to mine happy wakanda purap track purai ko. Sida yengo mahi layers layer basing sida positive plate hai ko ma positive plate negative plate hai ko mamang kita mercury cell da tawkibada separator yawi ko anode ki part cathode ki part hai yawi bo. So let's see here again. Anode ki part ne cathode ki part ne kana yawi marakta separator ama yawdra sumaina hojiki nickel cadmium gidudasu kayawani ba positive plate amaga negative plate amaga gi marakta separator yawgani haba yare ko. So nickel cadmium haba sida kana na cathode organi kana na anode organi di yengasi ko. It has longer life than the lead storage battery na kana lead storage cell hai ba po sida gi di nickel cadmium cells na hena long lasting oiba ko. Aduga but more expensive to manufacture. Lurisi kaidaneba paisa yam changeba mase manufacture puthokna honabada ko. Then overall representation today yengasi cadmium se kaidari like oxidized to ecosida cadmium oxide form tawda. So that means cadmium is the anode neba. Nariko nickel se hydroxide form le lemne se adu kai ole hydroxide form du dum nei. That means mangonda kai thoi reduction. Removal of oxygen. And here water is released organ. Here in the nickel cadmium cell sida we have a nickel sina cathode oiduba cadmium sina kayoduba anode oiduba yareko adudi say sida positive plate negative plate and separated have sida positive plate will be kanawarani cadmium ko aduga negative plates na kanawadaba nickel yarani ko. So fill cells se tawjinga hi mamangda hoju phawda akoina tawgiba parts se amtang hana pulab yengthokisi ko aduga fill cell will be continuing in the next class to continue tawse. Okay, in the previous classes we have already discussed about the Kohlrausch law ninare ko. Kohlrausch law ninare ba matungda kana lakre molar conductivity molar conductivity have a term se lagba consider koina limiting molar conductivity tham hama use story ko limiting molar conductivity. So limiting molar conductivity ka molar conductivity have a term siga ani sida khena bisa kai haba. Molar conductivity have a matanda it was still denoted by capital lambda m. Yaikwa adu limiting molar conductivity have taragadi it will be capital lambda m to the power 0 sila eba. So capital lambda m to the power 0 hanna pise capital lambda not I report se kai ba limiting molar conductivity sine hai greba ko aduna si report se nei na po matam sida akoina dabai capital of Sager equation like ko dabai Hakel Sager equation sigi matang sigi akoina kai haba nasaidi concentration terms ka adu limiting molar ki terms si myam sing se akoina naina bangam ki haba nare ko kai hana limiting molar conductivity have a port C limiting molar conductivity have a term simaga constant A have a siga C to the power 1 by 2 have a possible manani tamgrebo ko. Then after this akoina lakiba matamda electrolysis like electrolysis can you have electrolysis there. Electrolysis means electron or electricity matekna decomposition reaction to anba. Electrolysis is a type of the decomposition reaction which is carried out by electricity or with the help of electricity. Sida akoina lo ani khaktame kana no Faraday's law of electrolysis. Faraday's law of electrolysis ta first law. Atopa mana second law. Sumaina ma ki law ani thong tami hage. Yare ko. So sida tamgraba matungda akoina lakodo sigi law sida nasagi limiting molar conductivity have a pot set. Kaiga manay haba. V plus lambda plus naught plus V minus lambda naught minus. CP hana tamgraba. Nijingra. Limiting molar conductivity of the electrolytic solution se mongonda yauriba particular ion singdugi masagi limiting molar conductivity gi total samga manani habado yare ko sumaina rule khara ninagre. Then jab manana koina study tawgiba matanda sida base mathaki reaction se it is electrolysis of sulfuric acid. The reaction makal ani pi ko amana kai high dilute thopa amana kai high concentrated thopa yai ko dilute ha ma tam se the mainly it will be water based hoyaba yare ko kai the based hoyaba water based hoyi aqueous or dilute ko he khana ma ko aya mera water based ho kani ba concentrated ha mu dun kai hai it is sulfate ion. Sulfate ion used specific because there is a larger concentration or higher concentration of the acid ki changani heleba more than water dagi yai ko dula silawa. So oxygen released tarakani and H plus released tarakani along with some electron. Then sulfate ki sidari amka mana per sulfate ion form togani haba yare ko kai form togani haba sida sulfate ion leramba se per sulfate ion da change togani haba yare ko. Now again sigi matungda akoina hojik tawgiba battery to have the battery da kai haba battery is the combination of two or more cells connecting in the series. Kai don't have two or more cells connecting in series to connect hodani ba nare ko battery hai targadi two or more cells combination ni combine connect hodaba series to connect hodaba and it has three types. Kai haba mana primary, secondary, and last one is the full cell. Hoji powder going to visit primary togre. Primary di kai haba it has some characteristic. My characteristic to khani ni si ko. Primary si kai haba. Primary se it is not reusable. Recharge to bhi abra nade not rechargeable. Not rechargeable. Amadi once reaction of mukatang to have tra once use once reaction if that then no reaction yare ko primary cell haba matam sida ma se reusable oide rechargeable oide then kaigumba use to tare su amukhatane use to se means amuku de chakragadi mado reaction thoktre dead chakhrani use to yadre. But in case of this secondary cell they have a reusable crop. Reuse to yadani, recharge to yadani, more efficient oy haba. Kaigino efficient oy hai se hanjin lene de haba madi yare ko recharge to ya recharge to season of yabagi. Okay, let's take some example. Ko hojik ta hoge ba primary cell the example to kai haba. It was dry cell and mercury cell. For secondary, it is lead storage battery and nickel cadmium cell comp. So for the case of the fuel cell, koina tamdo share hydrogen fuel ko. So the hydrogen fuel. So in the next class, we will be continuing with hydrogen fuel. Till then, bye-bye.